It's that time of the year when amusement parks are flocking with families, friends, and kids. But this year, the story seems to be a little different. 8 months into the lockdown, and we are slowly hearing of restaurants, hotels, and even cinema halls opening up. But there has been absolutely no news on amusement parks. And to talk about the impact and the revival of the industry, we are joined by the Joint CEO of India's largest themed entertainment park, Imagicaas, Mr. Dhimant Bakshi, on this episode of CTCares. Dhimant, thank you so much for taking out the time and chatting with us on Curly Tales. So, this is the show CTCares where we connect with everybody from food, travel, hospitality industry and understand what the situation is like. So, welcome to Curly Tales.
Yeah, pleasure to be on Curly Tales, and we see some wonderful work that is being done by you all. So, hearty compliments.
Thank you so much. Now, with the lockdown, which has been over 8 months now, we are slowly seeing restaurants, bars, and even cinema halls being opened up. But what about amusement parks? Any specific date that has been decided or announced by the government?
While the center government has given the indication of 15th October, which has been rolled out as a national date, but each state is taking their own calls, and Maharashtra state in particular has not yet taken any decision. But we think it could be somewhere around first week of November. At least we are looking forward to catching up on the Diwali season, which is really something what everyone looks for.
Well, that's definite. A lot of kids, families are waiting for amusement parks to open up, but there is some sense of apprehension and fear as well. So, if you can tell us once Imagica opens up, how is the experience going to be?
We are an open air environment with some bit of indoor attractions and activities that you would see. So for us, we run in acres as a unit of measure and not really in square feet or square meters that you would generally come across. And therefore, maintaining a good balance between social distancing to ensuring that the entertainment quotient is right is something very, very possible and practical with us. So for past 7 months, we've been very actively working on it. We have seen that it's important that how guest interface is controlled not only with the peer guests but also with the employees. So ensuring that there are temperature checks, ensuring that employees' health are being regularly tracked and monitored, so that there is no possibility of any carryover of any infection if were to be.
Okay, you did mention something about virtual queues. If you can tell us about that, or there are any other innovations. In addition to that, is there going to be a minimum capacity of people that are now going to be allowed to come into Imagica?
With a park like ours, which is at a capacity of 10,000 per day in a theme park, and water park at almost 5,500 people per day, we have ensured that 40% capacity is what we would operate with. So to begin with, first step is to make sure that a large capacity of 10,000 spread over almost 100 acres between both the parks. So 15,000 between two parks, if I were to use the term. 6,000 is what we would take at a max level, which itself ensures that if I were to mention, it's essentially a 1 BHK experience as we call it internally. So practically for everyone, it's almost 1 BHK size of social distancing possibility that we will be able to ensure, at least in Imagica as a park.
Wow, that sounds
Yeah,
interesting.
so that's lavish space, right? Making sure that the virtual queuing where the guest is most likely to come in contact with each other, we are ensuring that in the Imagica app itself, you can get notification for your turn to come. So you don't really need to stand, and rather you will minimize the contact. Second such initiative is also for our food and beverage, wherein which you could order virtually through the app. You can exactly at the time of readiness of the meal, you can go and pick up your stuff. Payment is online. Similarly for a retail where it is completely contactless shopping experience. So that's some of the initiatives that we've taken.
That's interesting, maintaining social distancing in an amusement park. So, quite looking forward to seeing that as a new novel. But I read a report where a theme park in Japan has banned people from screaming on roller coasters to prevent coronavirus spread. That sounds very funny when you hear it, and I don't know if it's even possible to do that. Do you see any such
Yeah.
initiatives to happen in India as well?
So first of all, in Japan, I've now never heard anyone screaming by design. Uh, so that's unlike in most of the countries where you will see people on high decibel. Yes, but that was on the initial days when the parks were reopened, and I'm sure uh, as uh, as and when parks open, there's a journey of improvising and correcting certain measures. So those were the measures which were taken very earlier on,
Right.
and I don't think we would like to enforce such a norm, but to tackle really the concern that was with which one had implemented such a measure is to ensure that even on the rides one would like to give enough distancing. We want people to scream, right? And we would like them to have a great time. So we would ensure on the rides and our attractions that people are having enough room to play with. So that's what we would be essentially doing.
Okay. While it's a great thing that very soon amusement parks are going to open up, Imagica being a family destination which involves entertainment, travel, hospitality rather, all of this has been affected very badly during the lockdown and as the pandemic is still on, and every industry has had to go through a lot during this period. How has the impact been really on Imagica?
We were the first, one of the first facilities to get shut. So on 15th March, we got the orders from the government to shut operations. While many facilities you would have seen were shutting somewhere around end of the month or so, and till today we do not have clear visibility on when we would be able to open.
Right.
So, of course, there's a huge impact. I would say that it's a colossal impact if I were to use it out. So there have been impact to all the stakeholders, whether they are employees, whether our partners and associates, as well as us. So it's a big impact, if I would have to say. And with great difficulties, we've been able to put things together. So yes, life is difficult, but we know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So all of us are motivated to make some good things to be done for people, as well as ensure that this we get past pandemic as soon as we can.
Absolutely. I mean, that's quite heartwarming to know for all the initiatives that you are taking. Well, you were the first ones to bear the brunt of the lockdown, like you just mentioned. And the announcement came in from government, and yet there is no clarity. Tell me, in terms of support, has there been any kind of support extended by the government during this period?
The tourism department has been very very cooperative. They have been trying to do their best. We have represented our request to various people in the tourism departments of Maharashtra. However, I think when it comes to getting the desired support from the other bodies, I think industries such as auto or power are always seen as people who do output based thing, whereas we are people who provide services. I don't think government, while there are very noble initiatives and intentions, I would say, but in terms of on ground action, it really has a long way to go.
Absolutely. And it's unfortunate to see, such amazing businesses bleeding in pain in this period. Well, another thing that happened during this lockdown is Prime Minister Narendra Modi supporting local tourism and, with the hashtag vocal for local, just to, encourage more of domestic tourism to boost. What are your plans in terms of promoting tourism for Imagica? Is that the line of thought that you would have? How are you planning to market?
Right. So, like I mentioned earlier, we are an international entertainment and amusement experience in India. And in today's time, because Imagica is a complete entertainment destination where we have a five-star hotel, we have a amusement, we have a theme park, we have a water park, we have a snow park. So entire families 2 day experience is what we provide at, I would say, one fifth, one sixth the value of any global entertainment peer. So our effort is to communicate that.
What about the hotel, Novotel Imagica? Is that open?
Yes, so Novotel, we opened just after the announcement happened in the August from the government, and we did an initial tie-up with a corporate group, got the business up and running, and we are seeing a decent traction at the hotel end.
Absolutely. Dhimant, you just mentioned how Imagica is a fun-filled destination for people of all age groups through its theme park, snow park, or water park. So when you reopen, are you planning to shut down any of the activities permanently or temporarily, considering the hygiene practice and other things in mind?
So I would say that we would do a phase-wise opening, while all of our activities and facilities would be social distancing as well as hygiene compliant, because we have put very strong measures, and we have already tested some of our measures with a test client experience. So a guest experience has been tested. However, to make sure that we are cautious and ensuring that guests are safe, we would open in phase-wise manner, especially for some of the indoor attractions. Otherwise, all outdoor rides would be open.
Now, we at Curly Tails and our followers, we all love offers. So, when you reopen, are you introducing some new and exciting offers or discounts to attract families?
Yes, of course. So we know that during COVID times, all of us have been affected in some way or the other, financially or medically or otherwise. So Imagica does appreciate and understand that, and while we would want our guests and patrons to reciprocate well and make sure that this facility keeps running in its own in best possible way, we would be drawing some interesting offers and schemes which will entice a guest to come. Just as we are closer to the park opening dates, we would definitely be doing something which will sweeten the purchase for a guest. So definitely.
Quite looking forward to it then. And even in this period, did you see a lot of inquiries coming in? Any particular consumer trend or pattern that you saw and would like to share?
Well, so weddings per se have been very severely affected during pandemic, right? So we are seeing good traction in the wedding inquiries. There have been certain confirmations that we've already made, and we also see a very interesting behavior of group bazi, as we call it. So a lot of groups are wanting to come in their own social circles and really break free from the pandemic situation. And we see that they come during the weekend, have a good time, yeah, and not only work from home or work from hotels. Now we are even going to toy with work from parks kind of a situation.
So before we let you go, Dimant, just want to know how long do you think it will take for the industry to bounce back or so to say recover the losses?
I don't think anybody has a perfect answer. I think somewhere around 1.5 year is my guesstimate, because categories like ours take a longer time to get warmed up and get that momentum. I'm sure it will take some time. Probably the kind of losses that all the parks have amounted to have been very high. Some of the industry reports are quoting as high as 2,000 crores kind of a loss just in amusement park business, which is almost half the turnover of the entire amusement park businesses. So it's going to take time to build customer confidence. It's going to take time for people to come back in its real form of entertainment. But we all are here to stay. We all are here to working closely to make things happen. We will keep chugging along.
All right, and look forward to the launch in first week of November. Dimant, thank you so much for sharing those wonderful insights with us on Curly Tails, and we wish you all the best.
Pleasure to be there. Thank you.